And a really cool new washing machine. Anita, hi! Nice to see you, girl.
It says it starts at 4 p.m.
And
I'm
John,
going to blame that on a
yay.
producer.
Hey, I want to do a shout out.
Okay.
I want to shout out to Danny, who I don't even see, but she had bailed me out so much when my brain was fried on oxycodone. She kept me on the straight and narrow, and filled in my gaps. And then the other shout out is to you. Because I dumped on
Oh, no,
you.
I just show up and
But
do
I'm
things.
thinking I listened to that show on the way in today, and I went, I don't remember any of that. Danger.
Stranger danger.
Stranger danger. No, don't
Okay,
say that.
well, anyway.
Okay, anyway, here we are.
Yes,
back
thanks for
in the
joining us
saddle
for
again. Hi, John.
another episode of Shenanigans with Brent and Becky. I don't really have a lot of news.
Oh, don't ever say that. You
I don't
always
because
have
I
news.
didn't have time to do my little outline because I was buying fabric this morning.
I know. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Did you actually buy some?
Yeah.
I'll wait for the interview. I've got some good questions.
Okay, he's got
Yeah.
good stuff.
He better get his armor on.
We do have classes coming up. Check the website. We got some good classes coming up. I believe the next big one is going to be the Build a Bag with Brenda there coming up the first weekend
That's
in
the
May.
little backpack, right?
The backpack, yeah. We're going to use that as a. The idea behind that is the first week is going to be you're going to pre-quilt your fabric. So if you wanted to do
and select it if you want.
Yeah, and
right?
yes.
Because not to keep interrupting you, but that's what I do best.
Yeah.
That's always like when I look at a buying any pattern.
Mm-hmm.
It's so overwhelming to me on how to get started.
Yes.
On like what I need.
Yes.
So class 1 is a prep class.
Is the prep class because the other
Yeah.
thing about that is a lot of
Yeah.
those by any patterns require you got to prep your fabric and pre-quilt everything.
Yeah, and then
there's a
cut
couple
it
different
and-
techniques on how to pre-quilt it, and so we thought that we would make a class on the
Yeah.
pre-quilting so that
Yeah, it's very
and then
cool.
the following week is just you cut and throw it together. That's
It's still not cut it and throw it together.
Yeah, I know,
people.
but-
It is not.
But it's going to be a 2-week class. Check that one out. That one will probably fill up fairly quick. That was what else we got coming up. That's the big one. I think
Taught by
people.
Brenda, the queen of bags.
Yes.
She's
And then
made
we
a
also
lot
got
of bags.
beginner quilting should be starting as well. I think in May we've got some stuff coming up in May, and we'll be adding some more stuff. But check out the website for that. And that's really all we have for shop news. Is we just got some good classes on there, so check that out. We do have sewing machines. Like I said, we've got
1350s.
we got a couple 1350 still in the box. I have a 700 and a 950. And
Hey, Lynn's in the house.
yeah, Lynn. Yeah, it's a
Love
full
it.
house today.
We got Bev, Wilma. Woo-hoo!
Yeah, like, share.
Love
Okay.
it. And there's Danny.
Okay, so I found
shouted out to
yes,
you. I don't know if
the,
you
the
heard
like,
it,
share,
but
subscribe. Okay, so I found out that my niece does a YouTube channel where she talks about corn and manure spreaders.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
And so I'm talking to my, I'm like, okay. And my mom was like, because she was talking about it, she said, and I saw how much money she made. Apparently she got monetized. I'm like, how did she do that?
Corn and manure spreader? I gotta watch her. What's her channel?
Emma.
Not that I want corn or
No,
manure
she does
spreader.
she does like agricultural type stuff.
Yeah, cool.
And apparently she like totally gamed the system and interviewed a couple people and became super famous, and now she makes money on YouTube. And I'm like,
Good for her.
and then so I
She's also younger and cuter.
oh, well, I'm sure that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
So I asked my sisters like, so how many subscribers does she have? And she said, I think it's 13,000. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
I'm like, we're struggling to have 500, but whatever.
Wow.
And also
That's
corn and
awesome.
manure spreaders, and you get 13,000 people listen to that.
Wow.
Missed it by that much.
All right, so that's pretty much all I've got for shop news, and I guess that goes over.
What are those?
Oh yeah, I forgot about these.
What are those?
We've had these in the past before, and we just got them in again.
They're pretty colors.
They are the Magic Zircle Magnetic. Have you ever seen these?
I have.
These are fantastic little pin cushions because there's some sort of
Well, they're not really a cushion.
well,
They're
like a
magnets.
pin catcher, but there's some sort of weird. Do you have pins in your drawer? Because there's like weird magic that happens on these.
Yes, you can use safety pins. You can
Oh
use-
no, I need regular straight pins.
No, these are magnetic. It works with anything
No, but
magnetic.
you need regular ones because when you throw pins at
Danny,
it,
can you get me some pins to throw out? Brent?
the
There she goes. See what I'm
magic.
talking
I'm
about?
telling you,
That-
there's some weird demon magic that goes
girl
on in
is-
these.
Yeah,
and-
but you watch. Just show these too, because it's really for anything.
yeah, but watch what happens. Okay, you're zooming. I don't. Yeah, okay.
You would have thought. I'd
Okay,
have
so
it.
you throw pins at it, you see how they all, 9 times out of 10, you see how it throws the heads to the outside?
Well,
Well, it's got the because it has the cardboard on
well,
it, I
take
think.
the cardboard off. You can.
throw the heads on the inside.
Then yours is like backwards.
I know.
But it's crazy. The first
As
time I
long
saw
as it's
these,
one way.
I want to know how it works.
So you took one apart?
No, but it just always. See how it,
Yeah. They serve.
9 out of 10. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing. I
Yeah,
don't
Ricky,
know.
Ricky Timms had one that I
Yeah.
actually got. They did the same thing, and he has his face in the middle of it, so it makes it even more fun.
So you're saying I should put my face on cushions so you can throw things at it?
Yeah. Why don't you put your face on there?
Okay, and then
But it isn't
the worst part is it makes me nervous to put them back together because
Yeah.
I'm afraid it's gonna hurt
Yeah,
me.
they're very strong magnets, but
Anyway.
they work with anything though.
Yeah, they'll work with anything. I just thought it was amazing how it flips the pins to the outside. It's exciting.
Yes.
So anyway, there's that. So I think that's everything.
So I would have one for the different pins I have. Like extra fine would be on one, fine would be on another. I don't like mixing pins on one thing.
That's not a problem we have here. Just throw it all.
Like this would drive me insane. I don't know if you can see this. This would not
What-
exist
what-
in
what
my
a-
craft room.
What drives you insane? The different color pins?
The different types of things.
And then the
like
binder
I have
clip?
one for my binder clips, one for safety pins, one for fine
Look.
pins, one for extra fine pins, one for flower pins, one for unicorn
We even have
pins.
nuts on ours.
Yeah, I don't do that.
And I want to make a bad joke about D's, but I won't
Okay, good done.
because Eddie isn't paying attention.
Okay, cool beans. So that's what we have new in the store today.
That's it, yep.
Okay, I really enjoyed your preview of what's coming down the pike show
Oh,
because we never know what he's up to.
I'm trying
Never,
to-
ever,
yeah.
ever. So that was kind of fun.
And if you did watch the preview, that the Daydreamer quilt.
yeah,
that we've-
tulip pink.
Yeah, the Daydreamer quilt that we previewed on there. If you are interested, let me know to get you on the list because I think we've got 8 of the 10 of them sold at this point.
I
So
thought there were 12.
or 12, 8 of the 12.
Whatever.
I say-
you snooze, you lose.
I say
on
yeah, and I
those.
say 10 because I'm sure
Are
that
you on it, Becky?
He said I was.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's why I said 8 of the 10 instead of 8 of the 12 because we take 2 off the top.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, okay.
But yeah, no, if you're interested, if that's
Okay.
of everything I showed last week, that was the big item
Yeah.
that a lot of people loved.
Yeah,
So
that's gonna be cool.
okay.
Well, based on that, I'm gonna jump right into my quiz.
Oh,
How's that?
quiz time. Woo.
Ready? Because
Yeah.
it's based on your show last week.
So that means I should know the answer.
You will know the answer.
Okay.
Will you know the answer? Okay, this is based on last week's show. One question, one
We got like a
answer.
full house in here today. so-
First one in wins a $10 GC.
Woohoo!
And you know what, guys? If you keep adding these GCs up, my goodness, you can get the Tulip Pink Daydreamer. You just
I
gotta
don't-
tune in every week.
Yeah.
It's easy peasy. Ready? Brent showed off a fabric line last week that he said,
Oh, hold on a second before you finish it. We have a huge studio audience in here today.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is usually we do a time delay.
Yes.
We're gonna give out 2 this week.
Oh.
One for the studio audience.
Okay.
And one for
The live audience.
The live for the
Okay.
yeah for the
Okay, that's
the YouTube
exciting.
people.
So one in each arena.
yes.
Okay.
So they can say it, but quietly.
Don't shout it out.
Yes.
Yeah. How are we going to do it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
how? Because they can
They
see
can
it.
Okay,
tell
I'm gonna
you.
look for the hand. I'm gonna look for the hand, and
Well,
and
they
we'll
could
go
be
in the
wrong.
order, and
They
we'll go,
could be wrong. Okay.
and we'll
all
go in the order that the hands came up.
right. Okay. All right. Ready? Ready? This was a fabric line that had a lot of cute stuff in it, including mushrooms. And Brent said it comes in so many different colorways. I chose the dark colorway because the color pops. The question is, what was the name of that fabric line? I wasn't going to make it easy. Come on. Give you another hint. It had a deer in it.
Okay. Oh dear.
Oh
No.
dear? No.
No.
Were
Good
you
guess.
gonna wait? I thought you were gonna wait.
Well, we're taking.
Well, she was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
No, it wasn't. Oh dear. No, it wasn't magic mushrooms. No, but that might be. Brent definitely would have bought that.
Oh yeah, magic. We all love a little bit of magic.
Okay, come on, guys.
Some magic mushrooms and
You
unicorns.
spent like 10 minutes on this fabric.
I know. Well, we're waiting. Okay, I have this awesome idea for a fabric line that somebody needs to make. I'm trying to get Eddie to draw this out for me. So if you're a designer, you're out there watching this.
It's still open, guys.
It's still
we don't
open.
have an answer yet. Oh no.
I want
I'm gonna
a
have
fabric
different-
line called Garden Gnome Liberation Force, and it's gnomes and mushrooms and garden
Star
creatures
Wars
and guns
themes.
and grenades. It would be awesome.
Okay.
Garden gnomes and guns.
No.
Dragons, no.
No, but we did. You showed
Yes,
off
ancient-
dragons,
dra-
but that
ancients,
wasn't.
yes.
That wasn't what it was. That wasn't what it
I don't
was.
think we got a winner this.
You made a point. You made a big point about saying, see, it comes in like 3 or 4 different
I know the one you're talking about,
colorways.
yeah.
And Becky chirped in and said, here's another hint. Those would make beautiful bag fabric.
Yeah, so I think everyone can
Beautiful
picture the fabric,
bag
but nobody
fabric.
remembers what it was called.
I don't even remember what it looked
I
like.
remember all this, but I don't remember.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Too hard. That's what I get for being on my tushy for 2.5 weeks.
It was
Do you have
wasn't
a
it?
backup question?
What, you want me to come up with another question?
Because that one was
Easier
called. Wasn't that
question?
one called Meadow?
Oh, yeah, burlap. No, it begins with F.
Fairy?
No, not
Frogs.
fairy. Not frogs. You're close.
Aw.
Sounds like. Who said it? What'd you say? Yay!
Yay!
Yay! We have a winner!
Yay! Burlap,
It was
yes.
Frolic.
Frolic. And yes, Jean, burlap is on sale.
And she doesn't even know, but see, my hints helped.
I watched it.
Oh, there you go. It was Frolic, and it's really cute.
Yes.
It's really cute. Okay, well.
All right. So that,
one $10 GC, because
Yeah.
nobody online, but okay.
Congratulations, Sue.
Sue! $10 GC to
All right.
Sue!
so then that brings us to Quilt of the Week.
Okay.
I'm gonna skip the workbench this week so we can get.
Mike on here?
Yeah.
Did the audience know we have a guest speaker?
I don't know. So
we
Quilt
we
of the
have a
Week.
special guest speaker this week.
This is just a really pretty.
Oh, that is pretty. It's like a watercolor.
Yeah, she did really nice, really
Yeah,
pretty.
I like it. I
think
hate
this
it when
actually
I
came
get
from.
right next.
I think this came out of the 3-yard
It
quilt.
looks it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's just a really just a pretty, really
it is.
fantastic.
I like how
Like
she.
fussy touches.
I like how she picked
Yeah.
up the watercolor
Yeah.
in this.
And this
fabric
is
as
another
well.
great example because the main print, you know, those big squares, you're using a bigger print and it really shows them off because you didn't have to cut it down, but it
Beautiful.
just came together nice. So
Throw
yeah.
in some cave facet. I
It
can't say it.
It's really pretty.
is, yeah. So I just this was Quilt of
Nice
the Week,
springy looking.
and yeah, springtime we need that right now because
and
it
the
keeps
first name of the winner?
Lorraine.
Lorraine!
Congratulations.
Yeah, see, Lorraine, what happens is sometimes a quilt just shows up in the mail, and like I need this.
So
quilted.
she gets $50
Yes.
GC towards the $50 off the quilting of that quilt.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Congratulations, Lorraine. Oh, Jean got frolic.
Frolic, yeah, we'll throw that in there for her too, because she's the studio audience.
And
Yes.
yeah, I must
All right.
have napped. I've been doing that a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you want to do a turbo tip? or
I
you just
have
want-
a turbo
Okay.
tip. I have a turbo tip.
We have a special guest that's
Oh, do
waiting.
you want me to skip turbo tip?
I don't know. It's up to you.
It's a quickie.
It's a
It's a
quickie.
very quickie. Yeah. I don't know how many of you have invested in one of these little things, brother.
Brother P Touch.
Yeah.
They were giving those away with something a few years back.
Okay. Well, they print on ribbon. They print on washi tape. Yeah, and you know,
Tape still makes me laugh.
washi tape is one of my favorite
Did
things
I ever
to
tell you a story?
use.
Did I ever tell a story about washi?
No.
When I was down in
Okay, it
Central.
was a quick turbo tip.
Well, when I was in Central America, you know how like very politically incorrect, you just hear like a Chinese person talk and you do things that sound like you're talking Chinese.
Oh, that gets me in trouble.
Yes, but they do that to Americans down and south of the border. Yeah. So if they're
Well,
pretending, yeah.
that does make me feel like it's the wrong thing to do.
But so yeah, so they do that. So when they're pretending to speak English, you know, like I'm not even going to pretend because what they do is they go washi 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 washi. That's how they
That
think.
sounds like it's Chinese.
Yeah, but that's how they think. But that's what they do.
Okay, anyway.
This might be specific to Nicaragua. But
I'm
whatever,
here. I'm here. to
Whenever you
shut
say
up.
washi tape, that's all I can think of is these dirty little kids yelling at me, washi 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 washi.
See how cute this label is? and it's washi tape, which means it comes off really easy and goes on really easy. There you go, see it? And you know how I love all my project boxes. So now they're all labeled. They're all labeled,
So
and I
the-
have pink and white washi tape
Now,
in
does
there right
they
now.
have to get special tape to load in there, or do you just
Yeah,
load in
you
whatever
get-
fits?
You know, they come in little cartridges.
Okay.
They come in little cartridges, usually packages of 3. I've been having a field day. All my threads are now all labeled. Every box with the number on them.
Because you've only had one finger all
Because
these
I had, yeah, and that's this one you can. This is very easy to print out. Like I'll print out. You just type it in here. It just runs off batteries too. So like I'm put Brent is bad. Oh, and it has different fonts, and it has little fancy things you can put on because it's made to print like ribbons for packages and everything. Yeah, it's really fancy. But of course, I'm just excited because I have washi tape. So I just do that and I go print, and this is where I say how many of those I need. But watch, here comes.
Oh, there it is.
And then I just do this. And because see how it splits in the middle to tear away the sticky?
Look at that. I have my own little.
Yeah.
What's
Anyway,
it say? What's you put?
if you
This
don't,
is
if you
fantastic.
haven't invested in a P-Touch, this is a P-Touch embellished. If you haven't invested in one of these,
Yeah.
this is a good thing to have in your craft room. Period. It's a good
For the
thing to
whole
have
house.
around your whole house. Because I was printing out labels. Stupid. Just sit there and whip these things out. And then and my granddaughter loves putting stuff in for me and labeling. So she won't stick them on, but she'll
Is there a
type 'em
spell
in.
check on there?
No, there is not. There is
Okay.
not. But it's pretty. And you can put frames and symbols and patterns. This one's fancy.
See, look, we don't have a fancy remote.
Oh, there you go. See? And it's washi tape. So we all know washi tape is removable, very removable. Very removable off your rulers, your sewing machines. I love it for lots of different things. And this prints, whoa, I printed nothing. This prints on my washi tape. So I'm like, yeah, cool beans.
Cool.
That's my tip.
Yeah.
Spend the money and then you're not going to be sorry.
All right.
Okay.
Then that brings us to, we got another special guest. This is kind of the last minute.
This is exciting.
I sprung this one on Becky because
This is one of my favorite
Michael called me
patterns.
yesterday and he's like, you know, I got some new stuff. Want me to swing up? And tomorrow morning, I'm like, sure. And then I'm like, we can have him on the show. So,
Should
without
you go
further ado,
Oh, I was going to say, should you go to a silly screen while he comes on? No, here he comes.
yeah, we got,
Hey,
we-
everybody.
Woo!
Where should I look? In
Woo!
the camera? The
We're up
screen?
there.
wherever
Up
you
there.
We're
can
up there,
stand,
but we
sit,
look
it's up to
wherever
you.
we want.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What a great setup he has.
Oh, yeah.
Your technician,
try.
Eddie.
Eddie,
What a
yes.
great job you did,
Yes.
man. Terrific. Really nice.
So,
He's come
now-
a long way.
Yeah?
See,
Yeah.
now, the last rep we had on was kind of new to the game. She hasn't been doing it for a super long time. Michael's old school. You've been doing this how long?
Well, old school what, Brent? We
Old
haven't-
school sales rep.
Old
For,
school.
let's introduce him. People don't know who he is. Mike Reps.
Michael reps Moda.
Oh
Moda.
Love
That's
Moda.
very nice. Thank you.
gosh, I can smell it when I walk in the
Yeah.
store. It's like a magnet.
I will say they're a really nice company, family-owned company. I've been with them 20 years.
Wow.
And
When did
are-
they start?
They started in 1975.
That's what I thought.
So United
you-
Notions is the
95205. So yeah, you've been there quite a way. Yeah.
I wasn't with them
We
when
have
they
a-
started,
Or for no.
Oh,
because
he
of it.
does?
Yeah, here's a.
but
What do you need him to sit? Get a better view?
oh, should
No.
I?
He wants you to sit because I'm short.
Well,
And when
I'm
when
we're around the same
when I
height as
sit,
Brent,
it
and
goes
he's
like
sitting
this. Did you see? I
Did-
watched
I-
a video of By Annie the other.
Yeah.
So you're going to be so sorry you haven't seen me for 2 weeks. She was. It was an older video. She was demonstrating on Fat Quarter Shop how to make one of her bags. Now, Kimberly, a fat quarter, is relatively tall.
Yeah.
Okay, so her cutting table is custom made for her. And then Annie comes in to demonstrate something, and I'm not kidding. The whole show, Annie's like this. That's how I feel. Just saying. Okay, digest. Hi,
Okay.
Mike.
Remember the NBA player Manute Bol, the giant man from Africa? he almost didn't get in on because his passport had him measured at 5 feet 10 inches because they measured him sitting down.
Oh,
Oh, my.
so they thought his passport.
So
was
there's
mixed
like
up.
you're not the
Okay.
man of the passport.
See,
I'm
what,
like, well, I
Jerry,
was
you
sitting
gotta
with
you
it.
gotta shut us off so you can tell us all about Moda, because otherwise you won't get it, or a word in edgewise.
Well, what I can do,
What's
I can
this?
let you know what
What
Four
do you get?
Pines is gonna be
Yeah,
getting
we just
in.
had
I was
this
just gonna
order.
ask, did Four
September.
Pines order anything?
We were in the process, yes.
Okay.
And this was the last order he wrote for us.
No.
Use a table, Eddie? Right
Yeah.
here?
You have to push it over.
Oh, we're going from the above or the up? Which one?
We put it.
Over there on the cutting.
Stay on this side here?
Now, is this true that for a shop to get any of the line with Moda, they have to order the whole line?
They don't,
No.
Was that true at one time?
no. There was always, you could always pick and choose.
Because I thought that was why we didn't have as much Moda in here, is because you needed to commit to the whole line.
The bigger problem with Moda that I run into, and Michael can talk to this, is that
These are beautiful.
when a Moda line comes out that everybody loves,
I need to
by the
think
time it
about
comes
that.
out and everybody falls in love with it, it's
Yeah.
too late from a shop standpoint to get it because it's probably sold out.
But-
So you have to
well,
order.
and that's my
You
next
have to order
question.
ahead of time for with Moda.
That's
true.
my next question, Mike. Where you been?
That's a very good question. But we are reconnected now. We're gonna be going forward.
What happened? Did
Yeah.
he chase you away? Did he not place orders? What did he do to you?
No, it was all me. Nothing to do with Brent.
Really? 'Cause
He's an absolutely lovely guy.
Yeah, okay. I actually miss having, the motor in the store. I really do. This is beautiful. What's this called?
So this is-
daffodils and
Dragonflies for
Dragonflies.
September, and
Yeah, we got the
You'll-
case pack on that, right?
so is that all of these?
it's almost all of them. It's
Almost
half
all
the
of them.
collection, so a nice selection of each color.
Some of these, some of these, some of these, some of these,
Yeah.
some of these. And I am assuming there's a project.
No.
But there will be.
Really? Because that's not like you.
Well, I know, but the problem. Well, the reason I ordered this is because people like reproduction prints.
Well,
But like I always say with reproduction prints, well, am I going to buy the latest line of reproduction prints? I'll just wait a year and buy it on sale. Whereas Kansas City
No.
Troubles has that reproduction look, but
this
it's
is
still,
really pretty.
but
I'm
it's
surprised. Did he get this one?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
And if you like all of them, you can pick up a layer cake, because they are gonna
Yeah,
come
we're gonna
on
have layer cakes
Oh,
as
you
well.
are. That was the
Yeah.
other thing I was going to
Yep.
ask. Oh, really nice.
Yeah, because didn't Moda,
Very
weren't they
pretty.
the original
I love
layer cake shop? Are they the ones that started a lot of the pre-cuts?
Moda started the pre-cuts, and they're the only company that can say layer cake,
cake.
charm pack, jelly roll.
Jelly roll.
Legally, they're the
Yeah,
only ones that can
everybody
say it.
else, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they get. There's so many different names for them, but everybody calls them layer cakes.
But everybody
charm-
calls
Yeah,
them
these
that,
are
like
really-
Scotch tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are really pretty. Now, I'm going back in time a little bit, and you're going to say, Becky, it's too late. But Slow Stroll.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, my
Slow
Nobody
God.
knows.
Is from a new designer.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Fancy
it's
that. I
too
think it's out
late.
now.
Yeah, it's coming
It's-
out.
Yeah.
It's
You
coming
could
out.
probably still get some if you
It's
wanted
coming
to.
out in
because
June.
Well,
we
you're
can see
here
what's
today.
still in
Yeah, you're here
stock.
today. Maybe we can.
Yeah,
We'll see what we can do.
we might be able to do that.
Yeah.
But you like her look? 'Cause she's got,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think it's Fancy That.
fancy that,
Fancy
yeah.
That. Slow
Yeah.
Stroll, guys. Just so you know, I'm always looking out for you. I'm always
What was that?
bankrupting you. Yeah, that's a June,
June.
I
Okay.
think. June release.
Well, you know what else we got coming in June? Your Lily
Yeah,
Holt.
yeah, I know, and I'm excited about
Okay.
that. I'm excited about that. I was actually have a series of stuff that we're going to do in Shenanigans to get ready for that. So get your pencils out. So this is beautiful. So okay, so you just don't show up because there's no good reason.
That's correct. That's correct.
No, he's not going to want to come back. We're supposed to be doing softball questions.
Did you go to the other dealers in the area?
No,
Oh,
no, I haven't been up in this area in a
so
while.
you snubbed everybody.
Everybody.
We fairly got snubbed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do we feel better?
Well, we know it wasn't us.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. How has COVID impacted you in the shops? and the selling and the repping. You know, how have this last 2 years, what changed besides
So-
you not visiting?
A lot of salespeople were ordering on Zoom calls. That's how a
That's
lot
how
of
they
it was
would.
being
So
done.
you would
or
hold
through
these
cap-
up on a Zoom call, so there was no touchy feely. It was
Some people had a really nice Zoom setup at home. Some salespeople like what you have here.
yeah,
Others, it was just more crude. Mine was more of a crude setup.
yeah,
Or you wore a mask and you washed your hands and you
Yeah.
were careful with who you saw in person.
yeah.
So you
Now-
did a little bit
But
of
that's an
both.
interesting point because one of the things
I
that
love
makes
feeling
Moda
it.
is probably one of the best feeling fabrics
That-
out
I was
there.
just
So
going
that's
to
gonna
get
say
into that.
Yeah.
What makes Moda so different than all the other fabric lines? Because it is.
It's the finish that's put on the goods at the print plant. So basically, the gray goods that we buy are premium gray goods.
Mm-hmm.
Most companies in the quilting industry do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a long time now that there are players in this industry,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all printing on a really nice cloth. The companies that don't are not around anymore.
Okay.
Or they'll sell it to a different forum.
But this is just.
Yeah,
But it's
I've
the finish
I've
at the
had the
print
stuff
plant.
come in
Yeah.
that wasn't quality and it never made it onto the shelf because I'm just like I can't
Yeah,
sell this
this
in a
feels,
store.
it just
Yeah,
feels good.
so they're
This-
kind of not around
now,
anymore.
true
those
or
companies.
false?
Mm.
This Moda fabric will bleed less.
No, red's still a culprit.
So you don't say, oh no, it's Moda. We don't have to worry about it
No,
bleeding.
no, I would say
Red is
everyone
red.
should use a color catcher, wash first, do all that. Unless you know it's gonna very rarely ever get washed.
Okay.
I'll throw a color catcher in. When I wash this quilt, the 1 or 2 times I'm gonna wash it.
Yeah.
But red is still a culprit more than the
Do
other
you put
colors.
any other chemicals in with it, or
I don't-
just the color catcher?
Oh, I would just use the color catcher.
Just the color catcher.
That should grab it.
Now, do you know this?
Hmm.
If your color catcher comes out with color on it, it means you should immediately wash again with a new color catcher. And you should keep doing it until the color catcher is clean.
That's an excellent tip.
Those of you who, it doesn't.
That's an excellent tip.
If the minute you let it dry, that dye is now setting in there. So especially if you're doing reds and it bleeds onto your pinks, your whites, it turns
Mm-hmm.
into pink, you want to put it in the washing machine, I believe on hot water.
They would like you not to use anything too
They-
hot.
So they like it cold?
It's a little
Warm.
traumatic for the fabric if
Okay.
it's really hot.
Once the color catcher is used, it is absolutely no good anymore. Once it goes through the water, whatever chemical is in it is now gone. So you can't just rewash with the same, say, oh, it's just a little bit dirty. I'm going to go for it again. No, it's now done. It's gone. So you need to put a new color catcher in and rewash. Do not let it dry. Because if that dye dries, you've got pink fabric. So sometimes 5 washes to get it out.
You know what I once learned
Mm.
as a young father,
Yes.
and my kids liked crayons, is
Yeah.
don't put crayons in the
Dryer.
Yep.
That's happened at my house. That makes a god awful mess. It is cleanable though.
Yes.
You can get the wax out, but it is ugly. And
Well, then
it's-
it's in the dryer forever.
well, you're supposed to clean it out, Brent. Okay.
Do I look like the kind of person
Dina,
that-
did you have a question?
I did. I wanted to know how you knew about washing something 5 times and putting a new catcher in.
I don't know how I know
Oh, you
that.
don't?
I don't know how I know
Just heard
that.
it through the grapevine.
I've experienced
Well,
it.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
asking.
I have experienced it, but I knew that it would. I knew to do it though before I did it.
Okay.
I knew to do it. I think it happened to me on a snowsuit or something. I don't even think it was quilt related. No, seriously. And
Was it your snowsuit? And was it pink?
And it was on with something
Like to see what a
in
pink
the
snow-
washer with something else, and I knew. No, you keep doing it. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. And somewhere along the line, maybe it's on the back of the color catches on the directions. I don't know. I don't know. But it's true, isn't it?
It's not like it was years ago. It certainly has improved.
Yeah.
More of the color stays on the fabric.
Yeah.
But it's still very safe to use the color catcher.
So speaking of that, so you've been doing this for 20 years now. So what is like what's like the biggest change you've seen in the kind of the quilting fabric industry in the 20 years that you've been doing this?
Well, I've been with Moda 20 years. In the industry, 37.
See, okay.
Oh, you are an old goat.
Yeah, so the biggest, when I started, there weren't that many quilt shops. There were fabric stores that had a quilting department.
Yeah,
But there were not that many quilt shops.
yeah.
And if you were
It
going
didn't
to,
really come into being until like late 70s.
I would say, yeah, it's trickling as a popularity in the 70s into the 80s, and then probably like the early 90s, someone is owning a quilt shop. So what happened, you have a fabric store, you own a fabric store, you have a quilting department, you have a home decorating department, and you have apparel fabrics. The apparel fabric is what was basically running your business, a lot of your business. And then when people stopped sewing, you're not going to really continue to make clothes when you can buy them at Home Goods, Marshalls,
Yeah, for
Sears.
$5.
So the home sewing industry changed where those people who like to sew garments for themselves were doing less and less garments, but they love sewing, so they're going to do quilting or they're going to do home sewing,
Decor.
pillows, decor. So a shop had to decide what to do, and a shop became either a quilt shop, or they closed, or they became a home decorating store. And they did the big samples of the fabric for upholstery and drapes and all that. And there are still some fabric stores, certainly, but not like there used to be.
No,
Yeah.
no. But now Moda,
Hmm.
when you say apparel, I can make apparel out of their stuff too. I mean, their
They
stuff
do?
is so nice. You like, I think, I don't know if you know this, but I love floral sundresses.
That would be pretty.
I think I need to get some of this to make one of my floral sundresses.
They do try to make the
No.
fabric versatile.
Yeah,
It's
but-
not just for quilting.
But okay, that's going to bring me to another question, though, because I do know that there's a difference. You can feel a difference between the different manufacturers, but I
Yeah.
also understand that within manufacturers, you're going to have different grades of fabric depending on what they made it for. Like a lot of times,
Interesting.
like I know for example, Michael Miller solids tend to be a lot lighter than say. Than either a Moda solid or a Riley Blake. It's got a much more kind of a linen-y feel to
Oh,
it.
interesting.
And they say it gets
Well,
used
this I
more
could definitely
for
make a pair of shorts out of this.
Of course, I could be wrong, but do you see that the different grades of fabric that what they're selling in the quilt store versus what like an apparel store would be focusing on? Are you seeing difference?
Not a lot of differences, but there is some difference. So the Ruby Star fabric that you saw earlier,
Yep.
it's a thinner thread, more threads per inch, so it has a silkier, drapier hand than a traditional quilting cotton, because they wanted to double duty for apparel, even more so than
Then
this
this
already
is.
does.
Okay.
And then maybe that
So there
company's
is
doing
so
the
there
same.
is a so
There
there is
can
a
be two.
yeah there is a difference. Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't just me thinking there was a difference.
No, there's maybe 2 or 3 different types of gray goods in the market
Okay.
that they'll print on.
Okay. And at one point, Moda actually was making product like quilts and shams and curtains. You could go in and you could buy it all done up. Have they stopped that?
Yeah, they pretty much stopped that. They wanted to get into the home furnishings industry, the home decorating industry, and it's a bear of an industry. So they just
So
went
that-
back to what they do.
So now they're not doing threads,
They have
notions.
Threads, notions, they still
They
carry,
still do that. Okay.
but not as much with finished home furnishing products.
Okay. All right.
No,
cool.
are
This
they
is
still
better.
doing? I know that they used to do a lot of home deck type fabrics with your heavier canvases and stuff. Are they still doing a lot of
Yeah.
that, or is that?
Some.
And is that, from an industry standpoint, are you seeing that there's a lot of that, or has that been kind of scaled back over the years, or has that always been just kind of a smaller piece of the bigger pie that's
You
always
mean
been
the
there?
heavier weight stuff like
Yeah, like
used
the
on
duck
your
cloth
ironing
and, yeah.
boards and your
Yeah, the stuff you can, the heavier stuff to make like pillows and canvas type
Yeah.
stuff.
It kind of made a little uphill climb at one point when a lot of companies wanted to get into the home furnishings industry.
Mm-hmm.
They realized it was a kind of tough thing to be in.
Mm-hmm.
It dipped, and then they found a sweet spot where they have just enough for bags and pillows,
Okay.
but no drapes and upholstery.
Right.
That's kind of a little different
Yeah.
type of
Yeah.
animal, but more for the home sewer.
And it's not part of it's not part of a collection like this. It's
It
a
could be.
separate- Sometimes
Sometimes it is and sometimes it's separate.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're out and about today, and I love to have it. Is this the only line you got to show him?
He saw a
Or is
whole
this the
pile
only
of
line
it.
you got him to
pile,
buy?
there's a pile of
We're in the
fabric
middle.
we were
You're,
working our
you're
way
in
back.
the middle of
yeah.
it. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
all
there's
right.
this, and we did get.
What is? Well, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say we do have the what was it? The ruby. What's this?
Oh, yeah, you want to bring it over?
Yeah, yeah. We love seeing what's out there.
We didn't get a lot of this. We just got a couple of the
Yeah,
prints
but-
and the jelly rolls.
And I
of
was
it.
just going to say, what is when he comes back? You know, what is he seeing for colors?
Well,
and-
we were
and
actually talking
goodies?
about this when he was showing me fabric, and we could probably
Like,
get into it a little bit. But
These are beautiful falls.
because Moda's been around forever,
It,
and if you look at these colors, let's put them over here so you can see them. I don't know what's going to come through on the overhead shot.
you
Eddie.
want, I'm sorry, I put them all together. You
Well, no, I just
split them
wanted
up?
to show something because if anybody that's familiar with Moda, they had a very distinct kind of color palette for the
Yeah,
longest
they-
time.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about this a little earlier. And at one point, this is what you would expect from Moda, kind of this kind of a very traditional,
Yep.
not really saturated,
the
not super
pinks,
bright.
Not the
Yeah.
teals.
And Moda really, they turned that corner. It was one of those things. I remember the first time I saw the grunge line, I was very surprised at how bright some of the colors were because I'm like, for Moda? Because this is what I always thought Moda was this kind of stuff here. Just that kind of that
Classic.
classic, yeah. But what he's going to show you now is the stuff
Good.
that I like.
Let's see it. Well, I think why I like Slow Stroll is it's very classic.
Yeah. So, we're gonna show this. I'm gonna have to get more of it now.
In particular, we like the way the fireflies
Yeah, with
looked with the focal print.
yeah.
Wish I had a little bigger piece of that, but there's mushrooms and butterflies and flowers.
There's those mushrooms
Yeah,
again.
well, it
Right?
was the butterflies as well. I like
And
the
this is
flowers.
called Firefly, guys. Firefly.
Is that next week's quiz?
Well, you never know. This was daffodils and dragonflies.
But what, like I
This
said,
is fireflies.
but the difference in the color is what is like I said. This is what I was always
Well,
used to
that's
with
more,
Moda.
more.
This is what I
classic.
always thought of when I thought of
This
Moda
is
fabric
more modern.
and the modern stuff. Yeah,
Which I
yeah.
have a hard time with that word.
Modern,
Modern.
modern.
Remember
Both
one day
September.
we couldn't figure out what she was saying?
Yeah, I know.
What's the matter with you people? Very pretty, very pretty. And this is a one. This does feel different.
Yep, that's the ones we're
So
talking
this
about. Yeah.
is a thinner thread.
More threads per inch, and it will drape a little better than a traditional.
And why
quilting
do I
cotton.
care?
Because if you looked at the sales material that he showed me, half of the projects for this was clothing.
Oh, really?
And a lot of this was just table runners and quilts.
Correct. You are correct, sir.
And that's because of the drape?
I don't know if it's because of the drape, but
Will it wrinkle less?
Maybe the thinner thread.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. I think it would wrinkle a little less, but it is 100% cotton, just
Yeah.
like
See that?
the
Okay.
other.
With a
Yeah.
thinner thread. It is thinner,
A
but
finer
it's still
thread.
finer thread.
yeah,
It feels very
it's yeah,
nice.
it just feels nice. That's
It
why I've
does.
always
Feels
loved Moda
very
was just the
nice.
feel of it.
Like, this is the kind of stuff I like on the back.
Of a quilt or?
Yeah.
I was
'Cause
gonna
that's,
say-
that's the,
I was gonna say, where's she going with this?
that's
because
the side
I'm
I'm
never,
pushing
I'm,
up to.
I'm never sure with you, Becky, when you start doing that.
She thought she was feeling it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, mm.
The back of the quilt. This is beautiful. So we're getting some of this in too.
Yeah, we're getting this focal print for sure, and we're getting this,
Pretty.
but then we're also getting jelly rolls, which will have the whole.
That's right. Jelly
Yeah.
rolls too.
So some yardage and some
Yeah.
jelly
I can
rolls.
actually
Very
show
nice.
you. You're okay.
Oh.
There's a very dramatic back for that. If you like
Oh,
the back.
yeah. Don't we love backs?
You
Yeah.
do, yes.
Back sides, back of quilts. Just backs in general.
This would really
This is
be
really
nice, I
pretty.
think, with that. If you had this in your quilt and this in your quilt and this on the back.
Oh, yes.
See, look at him doing his job. Now I'm gonna have to buy some backs.
Well, everybody loves the backs. Now, I'm going to feel the back, guys. I got to feel it. Oh, yeah.
Now, did they do the same the finer thread on the back, or did they?
Now, see,
Yeah.
I want to dress out of this.
They've come a long way with backs. It used to be
Wow.
very difficult to
This
get
is
a
really.
nice backing.
I
but
wish you could
they're
feel
decent
it out
now.
there.
I've noticed that with the backing. So is the gray goods. When we say gray goods,
It's
for those
the
that are watching and aren't aware, all gray goods is just a reference to the fabric before it gets
Plain
printed.
fabric.
Yeah. is the gray good
Now
source
look at me,
for
I'm making sure.
back fabrics different than your regular 45? Because I did notice in, having done this for as many years as I have,
Yeah.
that back fabrics have gotten a lot better in recent years than they have been. Is that a change that they made, that they started sourcing them from the same place, or they just took them a little more serious? Because sometimes I felt like the backing fabrics was kind of an afterthought. Hey, we got this extra stuff, let's throw a print on it. But
Everything you said is accurate. It was an afterthought.
Yeah.
The gray goods were not as good. It was done in a whole different part of the world. They didn't understand quilting. This is where the gray good manufacturers did sheets. So they were just used to wide fabric. We just put it all together. They didn't understand the kind of hand we wanted. And believe it or not, it took years to get the gray good manufacturers together with the quilting industry to get a nice wide backing.
oh, okay.
There was a time even in
And now
another
it's-
industry like with
I-
bedding, the same thing had happened.
I
So-
feel all the backing.
So that brings to, that's an interesting point then, because so then that brings me to like home deck fabric is usually 60 inches wide. So that is then the gray goods on that are then coming from a completely different place than these, and that's why you get such a different hand feel to it, because they're not in cahoots with the quilting industry per se.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting. I learned something.
You now.
I don't know if that means
Not tried to
I
go
learned
to
something.
your-
I'm curious as to, like, you started out by saying Ruby Star, and I see Ruby Star Society here, but over here I see Firefly by Sarah Watts. I'm confused, and where does it say Moda anywhere?
So
This is a good story.
Ruby Star Society was originally called Cotton and Steel. Is that name familiar?
Yeah,
So Cotton and Steel was started by a group of young women, and they went to RJR,
yep,
and RJR printed their fabric called Cotton and Steel.
okay.
They had a falling out.
Oh,
It happens.
it does happen,
It does.
So they left RJR,
okay.
who's printing their fabric for them.
Mhm.
Are they a RJR designer like the other RJR designers? Yes and no. They are, but they want to maintain a certain independence
yeah.
and marketing and branding.
Yep.
So they come to Moda, and Moda's delighted to have them.
As Cotton and Steel?
They can't use the name.
Ah,
They have
okay.
to change their name.
Which is why the Ruby Star Society.
Because
They changed-
RJR said you can't go to Moda and use Cotton and Steel?
That's correct.
Because I think
Basically-
it would make sense, because I bet the cotton and steel marketing was done by RJR, so why would they want to give away what they do?
Yep.
And RJR is
Okay.
also going to have some designs under the name Cotton and
So
Steel.
they kept the name Cotton and
kept the
Steel.
name.
Oh,
But Ruby Star Society,
okay.
previously known as Cotton and Steel, has the rights to the patterns, so they can reprint some of the patterns they did with RJR. RJR can't reprint the patterns, but Ruby Star
Really?
can. Yeah, they don't own the
Oh my
name, but they own the
gosh,
patterns.
You know,
Very
I'm going to
confusing.
see you on Line and Crime. Law and Crime on YouTube. That's been my newest fetish. I've been watching, oh my God, the Johnny Depp stuff. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I'm just seeing the memes, and I don't even want to know what's being discussed,
Oh my
because...
Lord.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Answer Jean's questions
Oh,
before you leave.
okay,
No, I have
Gene,
oh,
what
yeah.
is your question?
Color catchers. I have a question about designers, because I
don't
find
see
interesting. Now, do a lot of fabric companies have? Is it in-house designers, or is it more kind of independent contractors, or is it kind of a mix of both when it comes to design,
I see
like
it.
where they're getting their designs? Like we just went over with the Ruby Star that they were kind of independent of RJR and came over. So is there like a lot of like these freelance designers in the fabric world that kind of go from here to there and there to there with their designs? Or do you see more in-house stuff where they've got a good team of in-house designers that just pump stuff out, kind of like just manufacturing designs? I mean, how is that?
It's both. Just, this guy knows everything. He's so
No, but I mean,
adorable. Look at
what do you see more of though? I mean,
him. So there's.
You know, I know why Brent wanted you on the show. Oh, Brent,
He is. He's a
Yes,
good guy.
see?
He's a
Brent,
good guy.
baby.
He really is.
We beat him up.
Somebody's got to
You're
love
being
me.
nice to him. You finally
Because
somebody
I
who's
think
nice
of somebody
to you.
like Dan Morris is one of a designer I really like. I mean, the guy's prolific, but but I've seen him with 3 or 4 different companies. How does that? I mean, are they just like highest bidder, or does Moda say, hey, why don't you come design for us, or do you privy to any of that?
So all the companies in the industry are always looking for new designers, and they'll go to resources where there are artists who show their work, and they're not necessarily in the fabric industry.
Yeah.
So they can find them that way, and then they draft them into designing fabric.
Yeah.
There's also people in-house in the art studio
Mm-hmm.
who will say, I think we should do this kind of a group. And they'll even give them a name. They'll give them a little designer name, but they're actually part of the company. So it's
So
both,
you're
outside
outside
designers,
and inside designers.
And there's really kind of 2 kinds of designers. There's an artist, somebody who will sit
The
down,
concept.
they'll draw, they'll paint. It's their artwork
Mm-hmm.
that is then made quilt friendly and printed. And then there's another designer who's more of a curator. Like, for instance, let's say Ralph Lauren. If you were to talk to Ralph Lauren, he would say, I never invented polo shirts. I actually heard him in an interview say that. He's like, I just brought back a lifestyle for people to emulate. And that
Ryan
I think is really
Seacrest
beautiful.
wore one of those Sunday night on American Idol, and I went, whoa, bringing back the polo shirt.
Yeah. So he'll curate a look for people. And there's designers that will access archives. They'll look at old reproduction fabric. They'll go to flea markets. They'll look at 30s, 40s fabrics. They'll have huge collections in their house. And they'll put a group together, color it, change the scale. But they're not actually artists who are drawing or designing
Okay.
I
fabric.
see, yeah,
But they're all called designers.
I gotcha.
Okay.
That's not me.
Yeah.
I just admire.
Like if we were going to do a line,
With the
You
garden
and I-
gnomes?
yeah, garden
Yeah.
gnomes, we
Yeah, you got
We
someone
would-
who wants to do rebel gnomes.
It's
Yeah.
the Garden Gnome Liberation Force.
Oh,
we would
Garden
hire an
Gnome
artist, we'd
Yeah.
look for an
Liberation
artist,
Force.
Yeah.
and we'd say, this is what we want. They would draw it out for us. We would still be the designers.
We just had somebody. It's like
We would have
almost like
an
a ghost writer that
Exactly,
does.
like
Okay.
a ghostwriter. That's how we would
Yeah.
do it. Because I can't draw it. Can you?
No, that's why I'm
Eddie
putting
can.
He could, but
Eddie
can.
they
Oh.
probably have like fangs and stuff because that's what Eddie does when I
Yeah,
ask him to do
he's-
something.
Yeah, he's
That's
good.
good, like-
He's got a
You
That's
have
unique
to
a
stand
style.
down.
He's got a unique style. We love it.
I'm trying to get him started on doing some applique patterns.
We love his unique style. Okay, so this is awesome,
Yeah,
awesome.
that was
I
so
do have a
fun.
question from Jean that I wanted to answer on the color catcher, and you can chime in too, Mike. Using it, I'm assuming you mean not the same color catcher, Jean, but throwing it through the wash with another color catcher, throwing it through the wash with another color catcher. As you use the color catcher, am I changing the color of the fabric?
Well, the industry really wants you to use cold water. They don't want you using hot for that reason. Maybe warm is okay.
Okay.
But I don't think a couple of times is going to really affect the fabric.
Yeah, I think
no,
she-
it did years ago, but not,
Yeah,
not as much.
no, I have
anymore.
not. I think her concern is the blue will start to look light blue, and that's not what I've experienced. It's just like the extra stuff that hasn't really. I don't know what the terminology is.
I think
Sunk
that's
all
fair.
the way in
So,
Yeah.
is kind of
but that brings me to another question,
Loosey-goosey.
kind of on a tangent, because I know Moda's still doing everything
so. My
screen
answer
print,
to
right?
Jean would be
So-
no.
So, because what about digital though? Because now that we're moving to digital prints, I'm wondering with the
I
printing
have not
process
experienced
that the multiple.
digital prints, but I wonder if they have the same bleed problems because they're digitally printed.
Well, my question would be the
Because we
longevity.
heat set. I'm assuming they heat set.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
digital
it's-
print
yes.
too. I can tell you when we're printing something like on the sublimation
Yeah.
printers and we're heat setting it, that stuff doesn't budge.
Yeah, that's what I'm. But I'm wondering with the multiple wash that we're talking about, if there's going to be.
It doesn't
If it's going to
budge.
act differently than a screen.
Yeah,
I don't think- I
can
don't
just
know.
tell you from my little sublimation printer experience, that stuff is there forever.
And speaking of that, is Moda doing any digital printing at this point? Are they getting into it, or are they still kind of sticking to the screens only? Because I know that's kind of the thing right now is some companies are making the jump, and some are still kind of the old. I'm never going to do that newfangled stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
these screen printed.
Yeah,
These are not. Oh, I'm sorry, they're screen printed, yes, they're
These
not
are
digital,
screen
yeah.
printed, yeah.
They're,
You know-
they're dabbling in it.
Okay.
A couple of designers are checking them out with digital, but 90% of it's
Yeah.
traditional.
Screen, yeah.
Screen.
Pretty,
All right.
pretty, pretty.
I guess that's all I had. I don't know. Did anybody have any questions? Anybody in the audience have any questions for
Yes, your
our
color
wonderful guest?
intensity. I don't think you'll see a change. Hi, Lisa. I don't think you'll see a change.
Lisa.
Your eyes won't see a change in color intensity. I've never noticed that.
Yeah.
The pink will go away from
Yeah.
the white. That's what will happen. So.
Well, yeah.
All
Well, thank
right.
you, Mike. I appreciate it.
I'm
It was
happy to be
good.
here.
It
Yeah.
was
I'll let you
fun.
guys finish up.
Yeah.
Fun, fun,
Oh,
fun.
no,
Oh,
they're done.
yeah. I was gonna say we're
We
done.
are done. I can't see the time on there. I was worried about my time.
Yeah. No, we got.
don't see it.
Our time is just
We're
about
good?
right.
All
Yeah.
right, good, good.
I
All
was,
right.
I was trying to be responsible, and because we got the class and everything else, and I gotta finish up.
Yeah,
Buying
you
fabric,
finished
so-
buying, I know.
But anyway,
All
so
right.
yeah, that's pretty much all we had today. Hope you all enjoyed it. Like I said, I thought it would be fun to just kind of get a different perspective because, like I said, Michael's been doing this for
Hope we see you more often, right,
Yes.
guys?
Yeah.
Because Brent ain't gonna buy it unless he shows up. Let's be honest.
well, basics. A lot of that I buy online. Like,
yeah, but you don't.
The problem,
you
yeah, but one of the
haven't been buying.
Yeah, well, the thing with Moda, yeah, like I said, is because because do you guys print overages or print based on pre-orders?
Pre-orders with a little
Yeah, because every
It's hard for you to make a decision.
but every company has kind of a different formula for that. Moda's got it down. That's why Moda's so awesome. Is because if you didn't get the collection ahead of time, they're
Yeah.
only going to print it's like 20%
And
extra
Brent's not gonna get the collection ahead of time unless Mike shows up at
to
the
show it to
door.
me because
So we want to see more of Mike.
yes, we
'cause
do.
I love Moda.
Yes, and he's just a nice guy too.
Yeah, well, that too.
Yeah.
That too. I
He
know.
doesn't try to
You and
set
him
things-
get a good thing going
Yeah.
on.
Like I said, we're starting to see all the old school die out on us.
Yeah,
They're all retiring.
I know.
Look at
All
that
right,
picture.
guess it's time to take us out, handsome.
That is a fantastic. See, that's why I shouldn't look at myself on the screen when I'm.
You're supposed to look up there.
That's why- that's why-
Can't
that's why-
see-
that's why I'm
can't
awful.
see what you look like up
Do you ever
there.
go like on a video call or
It's like
Zoom
this
call and you
big,
spend
I'm
more
like-
time staring at yourself in the corner,
Oh, we
making
didn't have
faces?
music. Where was my music?
There was music.
There was music.
I couldn't hear music.
You were dancing.
I turned it up and everything.
You were dancing.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you
Oh
were.
my goodness.
You're gonna have okay. That's
Are
gonna
you
be the
still
quiz.
on your medication?
No,
Okay.
I've been
Anyway,
clean.
I gotta bring us out.
Please do.
We-
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Shenanigans with Brent and Becky.
I
We had a good
danced.
time. Yes, you danced. It was fantastic. Thanks. I'm glad you could all join us. Like, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And so on. And be excellent to each other.
Toodles.